Well, hello, my beautiful. Hope you are well. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'm Mama D. We're going to be talking about Idaho 4 today. Hello, Jennifer Swain, Debbie Gazzardo. Rach, not that Rach, welcome back. Hey, Zoe. All right, you guys. Are you ready to get into this? I am. I don't understand this. So in the Idaho 4 case, 4 college students are taken out in allegedly 13 minutes, according to the state that's prosecuting the suspect, Brian Koberger. 13 minutes. So when paperwork comes through the courts that suggests that the dog is put outside and barks its head off for over 25 to 30 minutes. And then someone, or I shouldn't say that. I'll say the dog stopped barking abruptly and then later was found in the house. Logically, I'm assuming someone let that dog in. So if the suspect that the state has left in 13 minutes, I'm confused. How about you? Because who let the dog in? Who? You feel me? This is a mathematical issue. And, I don't even know where to go with it. So I'm going to come to you, get your opinion on this, see what you're thinking. It's a full-on chat today. Hope everybody is doing well. Let me get chat on the board. Zaxon, thank you incredibly much. I did email you, and I want to say thank you so much for the 20 gifted memberships. Thank you kindly. That is so sweet of you. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. So let's get into this. It seems like it's all about the dog. Like so much of this case leaves me puzzled when it comes to the dog. The dog's name is Murphy. The owner is one of the victims, Kaylee, that was on the 3rd floor. Her ex and her share this dog. They've only been exes for 10 days. So it's confusing to me in the sense that when the police report that this door where the dog is on the 3rd floor in Kaylee's room, the victim's room, there must not be a crime scene. And the dog is just there, sitting on the bed. Not roaming around the rest of the house, but it would have had to come in after the crime and go through everything. How did it not have biological evidence on it? Hey, Courtster. Hi, love, Tina. Hey, Debbie. Karen Bell, Cheryl. I believe that Maddie and Kaylee let the dog in and put it in Kaylee's bedroom. You think Maddie and Kaylee let the dog just roam outside with no fence? Does the dog stay in the yard? That's a good question. But it's at the time of the red rum. So then who let the dog out? In. Even if the girls let the dog out. Who let the dog in? Who was like, come here, boy? And the dog came toward them and went in the house. Or did they just open the door and the dog ran in and they were like, phew. You feel me? Like, there's something off here. There's too much about this dog. Hey, Ocean Deep, how are you? The dog's been showered down, maybe. Well, they did have 8 hours, right? Hey, Jolie Brown, good to see you again. Hey, Maggie. DM would have, says Love Tina. See, and y'all know my number one person of interest, just my opinion, is the ex. So finding out that the dog is left out of it makes me think of the balcony. Think about it. DM says the first thing she heard was the dog being played with. To me, that's a friendly. That's a friendly. Somebody playing with the dog. And then going out on the balcony maybe to play more and then leaving them out there, right? And then commit the crime. And then would they have left out the balcony, which would have meant that the dog came in, and yet there's no DNA transfer through that room? See where I'm at? Like every corner I take, I'm like, what about DNA? What about evidence of the crime? Dreamcatcher says the dog was supposed to be picked up by JD at the shelter too. And remember, Steve G, he goes into a little huff about JD, and he says JD's DNA at the scene. And he can't wrap his head around it. He can't understand it. And they're not clearing him at that time when he's all huffing about that. I find that so strange. Yes, the dog's name is Murphy. There's something fishy about the dog, says Phil Hessa. Audrey says hello to everyone. Rach, Debbie, Zoe, Jennifer, Ocean Deep, and Mama D. Thank you, Audrey. Moonlight says, hold on just a minute. Let me tell them that we're on live so we don't have to hear the toy, because they're playing with the dogs. Guys, please don't squeak that while I'm live.
That's the dog.
Oh. That's my dog. That's the dog. Nothing we can do about it. Moonlight says, wasn't there a video of someone bringing Murphy back in the AM? I don't know. Because the Linda Lay footage and this other footage has been blurred out and manipulated, I don't know what I can trust of it. I need the court's version for me to really look at. You feel me? Like there's stuff blurred completely out. Like it's absolutely manipulated. And I mean, the defense will even tell you the audio wasn't even with it. They had to figure it out. Like they were trying to get the audio to it. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me get caught up. Woo! I did too. Love Tina. It's really strange because if those doors were open, now remember the front door. Sorry to interrupt me reading that. Sorry I interrupted myself. If the front door's open, what made the dog not run out? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like anybody is going to ask that question. Like the front door, according to the police, according to the neighbors, at 8:30 a.m. and when the police arrived, that front door was wide open. Now we know the dog is sitting on the bed with the door wide open. What is stopping the dog from running outside? Why? Again, I'm stuck when it comes to Murphy. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, a big piece. In my opinion. Yvonne O'Leary, if I remember correctly, there was a video of someone carrying a dog in their arms back to the house. I think it might have been on Bubbly Waters. So check out Bubbly Waters, see if you can find that video. Send me that little clip. And if it's not like so blurry and pixelated that I can actually see it, I would greatly share that. It does add, Maggie says the dog adds extra mystery to the case. If this is just some random act of violence by a stranger, the dog all of a sudden presents a hiccup. It takes up time to play with the dog, to trick it to come outside, to do the switcheroni. So it's eating up that 13 minutes that the state is projecting this occurred in. Not only that, but how is a stranger going to know the layout of this house and know that that dog isn't vicious? There's something very much about the dog obeying perhaps or responding the way it did, even if it's a super friendly puppy. But I want to know what you think. And so I did a poll. Let's get into the poll. Here's the big question, right? Idaho 4 case. Who do you feel to let the dog in? Right? 30 minutes of barking, then stops. Found later upstairs in the room. DM, 48%, almost half, believe it was DM, the one that witnessed the killer. So if that was true, she wouldn't be in much of a frozen state to realize she's got to go let the dog in. Roommate BF, 8%. Suspect Brian Koberger, 5%. That's it. 5%. And the real attacker, and here's where it gets interesting, 41%. So even though it's a close second, right, it still means something, because if you tally that up, that is 88% believe that it was either DM weekend. As her number one or plus one, she went all the way back to Kaylee's home. And if you don't believe me, go listen to the memorial where the letter is read and she talks all about it. So she's the one, and I'm going to use the words, in my humble opinion, lured Kaylee, who then brought Maddie back, who was going to be with her boyfriend, right? And yet never calls 911. But calls her friends 8 hours later, who end up calling 911. And now we have a 13-minute crime where the dog is barking nonstop for 30 minutes. So, what the hell? Somebody would have let that dog in well before 30 minutes, right? Unless something's going on in there. So after 13 minutes, if this crime was committed by Koberger, right, at some point, somebody had to go let that dog in. And in letting that dog in, they would have thought about Kaylee that very minute. They would have been like, do. And that dog would have went upstairs, and there would have been some noise. Because a dog would have, what? Couldn't get in the room? The door's shut so the victims are secure, and so the dog can't get to them. So then the dog what? Whines at the door. Whines at the door. Whines at the door. Okay. If dog's going to get covered in, you know what? Trying to figure out what's going on. Like, come in the room. It might even bark more. Could the dog be heard outside on a camera? I don't know. Were the screams recorded? I don't think so. Maybe. Just because of that one cam footage where they're running around and somebody alleges they hear a scream. I don't. Karen Bell says on-door camera is starting with dog barking at 4:17 until 4:34. That I heard also. After the heart whistle, DM definitely, after a heart whistle, what's a heart whistle? DM definitely involved Jack D, in my opinion. I didn't quite follow all that, but thank you, lovely. Aw, Rach, not that Rach says, please don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button. Thank you kindly. Thank you muchly. Which tells, okay, Ocean Deep 24. Did you have more to it? Let me see if there's more to it. Okay. Ocean Deep 24. Helps if you put it all in one post to get it all together. Okay, I think I got this. Ocean Deep 24. Maybe D was babysitting the dog as the girls were out drinking. Then says, and now I got to find the other part, which tells me he knows the dog and knows he may follow. Lost me. Sorry. Gail, I wonder where Murphy was when Kayla was driving back to Moscow. Was he left at 11:22 or did he travel back to her with Moscow? Poor dog is the key to this. Cops thought audio suggested he was outside. Okay. The dog was always with Kaylee. The dog went to the Gonsalveses with Kaylee for those 10 days that she had moved home. The dog came back with Kaylee. The dog's kennel was in the car. And that's what's always bothered Christy, Kaylee's mom. And I say that because if you watch the clip, like, she goes off into like a memory of trying to figure it out, and she keeps coming back to it, and she's like, and the kennel was in the car. Like, obviously this dog slept in the kennel with her behavior. This kennel was important to the dog. So why would the kennel have not already been upstairs or in the house? Something's off with the dog. Ocean Deep 24. The dog would have followed him to the room, so he closed the doors while he did it. Got it, right? But they say all the doors were open. Okay, so the police, they say that all the doors were found opened, right? Perhaps these friends went and opened all the doors, but they were originally all closed. Dreamcatcher says, I'm sorry if I'm spanning with the G-Bros thing. Just, I really want Mama D to see it. I would like her to take on it. Take on it? I'm sorry, Dreamcatcher. I am not following that. 4G Brothers heard a rumor? I have no idea what that's about, lovely. Backwood beats and outlaw rhythms. I'm not buying this 13-minute thing. It's just not adding up. You don't just drop dead from a stab wound like it's a bad sneeze. Great point. Jolie Brown says, I think DM knew the attackers also BF. I do too. Obviously. Yeah, there's a lot to this with the dogs. There's definitely a lot to this. All right, you guys. So, we have a lot of big changes coming up on our second channel. We now have a name change. It's called Mama D. And if you would like to stay with me, then we will jump over and continue this conversation over there, where I just get into, because I've shared, like, I'm just absolutely at a loss for words finding out that that dog barked that long. That alone says somebody was awake, alert, and let that dog in. And it wasn't Coburger or a stranger. If we go with the state's suggestion of 13 minutes, which never seems even plausible or possible in my humble opinion, and a lot of you, I think, too, then you have to ask yourself, sincerely, at that point, why wasn't action taken to try to save lives, right? So, like I said, if you would like to continue on with Mama D, I would greatly appreciate that. And we have a lot of changes coming on over there. We're going to be switching some things up. A little bit more to the mental health side of things, creativity, doing things that inspire you. That's my goal. So we are going to do true crime today and tomorrow over there. And we will talk true crime from time to time throughout every chat. But I also want to make it a more creative adventure. So you'll have to see what it's like in a few weeks. All right, my lovely Liz, let's go ahead, get started here. I've appreciated your time with me. I know it was a short live today. I didn't have a lot to say right now. I just want to jump on and kind of throw all that out there. I have a lot to say, but I want to do it in little tiny bits right now. The first part we found out is that this dog barked for 30 minutes. There's more. We're going to be talking about the blood that was found downstairs. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Ocean Deep. Thank you, Gail, Tanya, Dreamcatcher, Shay Steven, thank you. Jolie Brown, Zoe, Nikki UK. Thank you all so incredibly much. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, know that I appreciate you very much. And I will see you in just a minute. All you gotta do is the time warp again. It's just a jump to your left and click that thumbnail. I'll see you again very, very soon.